Welcome to the Spotlight. I'm Sophia Hernandez. Today's episode is unlike any one that you have heard before. Put your kiddos to bed, put your AirPods in, grab a pen and paper, and take some notes. Today we are talking to a sex educator about all things dating, love, sex, relationships. We get real, we get honest, we get real honest. Today in the Spotlight is Celine Manning.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Celine, also known as Coach Batty, multi-passionate goddess, sex educator. I really love people. I love to instill hope in people, instill different belief systems, help people like understand that life is so much greater than what they know, and hopefully open up perspectives to different topics such as sex, intimacy, love, mindset, authenticity, and what does that actually mean? You know what I'm saying? So I come to you as your favorite bad bitch with hair.
I was gonna say, and for
And
those who can't see it, she's flipping her hair and she quite is the bad bitch. That's exactly what she is. Exactly.
yeah, exactly. And that's just a belief. You know what I'm saying? Like that is something that I believe, that is something that I know, that is something that I embody. So and that's just something that I want to I want to instill in other people because it makes you feel good. It just simply makes you feel good.
Okay, I want to get into all of the things, but first, let's like start at the most, I think, important concept. Like, what exactly is a sex educator? Because it's a word that gets thrown around a lot, but I feel like people don't really
Yeah.
quite understand what it is.
So, I mean, a sex educator, there's different types of sex educators, right? So, there's some people who focus mostly on the STI, STD spectrum of it. There's people who focus on the kink aspect of it. There's some people that focus on the trauma part about it. So, there's different things that you can tap into. And for me, I'm just more so of the confidence side of it, the like owning your pleasure, and just teaching people different ways on how to explore their sexuality without judgment. And that's why I introduce a little bit of mindfulness in there. So it's just like for me, it's just like sex educators just is it's just educating on life, educating on pleasure, and helping someone just tap into their sexuality. Like I will always say, without judgment. Without judgment. You don't never know what you like until you like experience it or read about it or talk to someone about it and you're just like, oh wait, hold up, that sounds so it's just like approaching it like that. And with a sex educator, we really destigmatize a lot of like misconceptions. And that's just what I love, like the whole virginity misconception. Even there's this thing where people do not they keep on judging uncircumcised penises and saying that they're not clean, and it's like stuff like that. And it's just like a dirty person is a dirty person. Okay, a person that doesn't know how to clean themselves is a person that don't know how to clean themselves. It doesn't really matter if it's circumcised or not, or if you know what I'm saying, if they're hairy or if they're not. Everyone is different. Some people sweat more when they have hair. Some people don't sweat. So it's just like there's just so much to it. And it's just educating people about the human experience. And that's what I just love about sex education. It's so much more than penetration, learning dick riding tips, learning this. It's so much more than that. It can be something that's really healing. So that's what it is.
And you kind of touched upon it, like misconceptions, I think, about your profession, right? Because I think it is something that is taboo, right? Like, still in this day and age, unfortunately, it is a concept that like either people aren't comfortable talking about, unless it's like in
hmm
a close, intimate circle of friends. So, what are some misconceptions about your profession specifically?
The biggest one is that when you're a sex educator, everyone immediately thinks that you're this hoe slut. You're this person that just does whatever, and it's like, yeah, that too. But I do whatever I want to do safely. I do whatever I want to do with consent and with boundaries. And I, I mean, other people, without sex education, they walk into the bedroom with some person and they don't even know how to put on a condom. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how it's supposed to. They don't know that you want to like kind of look at the penis a little bit before, or look at the genitals. Making sure that there's no like obvious like signs of an infection and stuff like that. So it's just there's certain level. Not everyone do that because sometimes when you're in the moment, but it's like that's when you want to use your condoms, use your protection. So it's like a lot of people they see a sex educator even on the dating apps. They like if I because I put I'm a sex educator on my dating app. It's really just an experiment to see what happens. I also use it to weed out people who are just immature. Like if someone come in my inbox saying like, ooh, sex educator, that means you know how to do this. And I'm just like, exit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
you can. So that's one misconception, because a lot of sex educators, I didn't have sex for like a whole 2 years. I was educating about sex and stuff like that. But so it's like, well, it's just a big misconception. However, a lot of us, we are liberated, we are sexual, we are pleasure positive. So yeah, we get our pleasure. Are you mad or are you not mad? So that's one misconception. And then the big thing about the what I was saying earlier about like virginity, that's kind of how everyone gets a little bit introduced, because your first time having sex is like, whoa, right? Like, I'm gonna lose my virginity. When am I gonna lose my virginity? First of all, the wording in that is already terrible. Losing your virginity, what are you losing? You know what I'm saying? Because I hear that term often from women, and it's like, why do we have to lose something? We're not losing anything. We're gaining an experience. That's why I always say, I don't say losing my virginity. I say I've had sex for the first time, or some people call it their sexual debut. I don't. It's whatever you want to call it, but I try to. I'm not too picky with wording, but with that one specifically, losing something just sounds a bit like, whoa. And then mentally, when someone loses something to the wrong person, now they just feel traumatized, and they just feel like, oh my god, I regret this. And it's just like, did you have fun? Did you enjoy the experience? Let's stick to that. Let's stick to that, instead of like, something was ripped away from me. Like, what did you gain from it? And so yeah, that's another, there's a lot.
No, listen,
There's a
we are
lot.
going to get into this. We are going to get into this. Okay, so I've kind of had to like break it down into 4 different parts, because quite honestly, we had, questions that I had, and then I had, I told my friends, I'm like, I'm going to have this girl on here, and she's going to, break it down. So they have questions, and then we have viewer questions. So we've got a lot. So we're going to kind of attack it by dating, by sex, by love and relationships. And then we're going to do like a quick rapid around, like things you're for, things you're against. Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to start with, yeah, this is going to be good. Let's see. Dating is where we're going to start. So best advice for people new to the dating apps. And, now we live in this day and age where, especially I think COVID kind of like fast tracked that and pushed a lot of people to go onto the dating apps. So for people who still have not entered that realm, or are still pretty fresh to that realm, advice for them.
It used to be, don't be afraid to go on dates. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to explore. Like, you need to get yourself out there, right? It's still that, but now with COVID and stuff like that, you kind of wanna really vet the person a lot. You really want to like see if this person is worth this meetup, because there's a lot of risks that come with the meetup now, right? You can get, sick. You can waste your time, which time is very precious. Hello, especially for a baddie. So it's like, there's a lot of risk that comes with it. So I always say, don't be afraid to hop on that video call. Okay. The video call needs to be, you don't even really have to talk to the person on text message, because with texting, you really don't know who that person is. Some people, they text amazing. You see them in person, they're mute. You're like, you're like, wow, did this really just happen to me? So
I
video.
cannot, that, agree with that 100%. Continue. I just had to hop on there because I'm like, I happen to be that person. I say this to everybody. I think I am not a good person text wise. I suck at texting. All my friends, I call on the phone. I don't text anybody. I'm like, in person, I think I'm the shit. I think I'm like so cool, so fun, and I'm like, if somebody could just see me out and about, like, it'd be so much easier. We could just fast track this whole thing and like take the texting out of it,
Right. Yeah. And there's some people who value texting a lot. Some people, they can't talk on the phone too much. It varies. So it's like they really rely on a good texter. And then it's that, if that texting is good and they meet in person and that connection is still there, it's like, woo. But it's like, me personally, I need to interact with them in some way, because even the video call doesn't even give you the full scope of the person, because once that person walks into your space, or once y'all meet, that energy, that connection, whatever happens, that's when you start to see kind of more of the person. Sometimes they're more nervous in person, and it takes them a while to open up. And that's why I always tell people, try to walk into these dating situations with just, don't try to predict anything. Just go with the flow. Really go with the flow. I used to say match energy, but honestly, don't match energy. Just realize the energy. That just because they're so, they may have a low vibe and you may have a high vibe, you don't have to get down to that low vibe. You don't, because then you're not being your authentic self, or however it is for you. But just realize that, okay, they have this low vibe to them. I'm gonna stay myself, but I'm gonna accept that person for however they want to show themselves. That doesn't mean I like it. That doesn't mean I want to see you again. That doesn't mean, that doesn't mean I want you more than a friend, but definitely try to figure out person that you're with, who is this person that you're meeting. Try to understand them, because when you don't, people tend to be very guarded, which that's safety, right? Say you have that net up, but it doesn't allow you to really get to know the person. Sometimes people just need a few minutes, sometimes people just need a day, and the next day you're like, damn, you were about to get left in 2021, sweetie. So yeah.
Oh my God, that was good. That was good. Okay, we need to know no, it's totally true. You're right. You're right. 3 red flags for a date. 3 red flags.
You know what? I was trying to think of them, and I was struggling because there's like 80 red flags. But I think no, like I'm serious. But I feel like the first like big red flag is if, and it's not really of them, it's more so you. Does this person trigger you in any way? Do they bring up unwanted things in you? Okay? That's a red flag. And that has nothing to do with the person. They don't even know that they're triggering you probably. But it's up to you to know yourself first. Some people you just can't really mesh well with. Even if they're a decent person, there's something about that person that kind of, and it takes you to do some inner work to figure that out. So that's just the first red. Do they say certain things that you just don't like? Some of their, beliefs, just something that you just cannot agree with, like just cannot. Like there's times where I go out on dates and stuff like that, and the person is just constantly talking about what they hate about women. This is me just sitting there, hands on my hips. What? Like, sir, like we are on a date. Get to know me. I am a woman, but I am different. Everyone is unique in nature. So it's like that's the first red flag. Do they trigger you in a way that is just unacceptable? I would say another red flag is if they don't compliment you. But that's just me. I'm a person, I love to shower people in compliments, and tell them how I appreciate them, or or sometimes I'll be like, what, thank you for being here with me. And sometimes people, they really don't take that well. Like, okay, like I'm just expressing gratitude in this moment, right? So it's just like they don't compliment you, and it's not even compliment, if they just don't have that, for me, if they just don't have that like positive energy, it's just like, are you optimistic or pessimistic? Because if that's the case, we're probably not going to get along. So my 3 red flags may totally be different from someone else's. And I would say my last one is when they're not reasonable. Like if we're going on a date and they live far, right? Say if they live far and the place that they want to go is kind of, where they live. And it's just like, okay, yeah, it is a bit of a drive, but like, can we maybe have a hotel after if we're thinking about doing something? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we are thinking about like doing something, can we go to a hotel? And like, I don't really appreciate like being in a car right now. Like, I don't want to do anything in a car. I would rather just, go to a nice hotel. Okay. If the person is like, okay, yeah, like we could definitely go to a hotel or do something. It's like, okay, I drove here. It was quite a bit of a drive. Let's just do something, fun after. That's your boundary. Like they got to be reasonable. They got to know how to like negotiate and compromise and stuff like that. Like now, if that person was to be like, oh nah, like I'm not really feeling that. Like I just want to one and done, do a little something. It's just like, okay, bye. And that's just honestly, that's just a recent experience. But there's so much other. But we end up in the hotel though. We end up in the hotel.
Hey!
It was a funny experience. So I have to drive.
No, but no, it's true. Like set your boundaries before you go on the date. Like, what do you want to come out of this? For sure. That's a good tip. That's a good tip. Yeah, like before you know.
Sorry, y'all. I was low-key venting.
Hey, it's a safe space. You're all good. You're all good. So this one, a friend and I were talking the other day, kind of about the dating apps and just how different people view dating. Some people really enjoy going on multiple dates, and they find pleasure in meeting new people and connecting with different people.
Yeah.
Other people find it to be a little bit of a chore, and it's not as enjoyable. So how do you get out of that headspace of like dating multiple people or going on multiple dates is not a chore, but should be an enjoyable experience?
I think one, you want to go into these dates wanting to learn something new about yourself. Fuck the date. If the date, if it comes out, if If y'all end up getting married, woo! Awesome. If y'all end up being friends, great. You know what I'm saying? Like, or if y'all end up doing anything else, that's even better, right? But going to there wanting to learn something about you, right? So sometimes when I'm on a date, I'm sometimes a little shy in the beginning. And it's just like, oh my God, Celine, you're not really this shy. You're just a little nervous. This is a new space. This is your reaction to what's going on, right? And I'm just like, oh, they're gonna think I'm shy. And then when they see my personality, they're gonna be like, what the fuck happened? So I'm just like, all right, the next time I go on a date, I'm gonna try to relax, get out that shyness a little bit, and really dip into who I am. Like, say affirmations to myself, like, remember who you are. Remember that this person is a human. This person know nothing about you. They don't know half of the crap you've been through. They don't know that you have average. You know what I'm saying? They do not know yet. Show them. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, all right, let's get into it. And then the next day, so say if on that day I conquered being myself. However, I was still stuttering, or I still like was holding back some things. I say, okay, the next date I go on, I'm gonna make sure I don't hold back certain things that I want to say. I'm gonna make sure that I express myself, loudly. Or maybe say the next date, right? I express myself loudly. I realize that's a bit too much. Let me tone it down a little bit. That made me feel too vulnerable, and I'm not sure if I want to get there with that person yet. The next date, I try to find that balance now. So with each date you go on, make it an experiment, make it fun. Don't make it a chore. I feel like when people think of it chore, they may think of just like, honestly, I don't know what they think of, but and that would be good. What do you think of when it comes to like, why is it a chore for you?
Well, I think in the end game, with this conversation with a friend, right? It's that, which is another question. The frustration with, I think a lot of times, like how you said, people view dating and only view the end result, right? Like, if I go on a date with this person, I want to find my future husband, or I want to find my future partner, instead of just like date to date,
Right.
So I think that is always the hindrance and again, it's for friends that I've spoken to that were kind of, I feel like, all in the same boat, like that we're kind of like, do I want to go on a date with a random person who I don't necessarily see a future with? At the same time, like, that shouldn't be my mindset of it. They don't have to be my future husband. They don't have to be my future partner,
Right. And that's the thing. It feels like a waste of time, right? That's why we don't make it a waste of time. We make it always work for us. That's why don't go on a date if it's not the experience that you want. If you want to go to a fancy restaurant, get a person that wants to go to a fancy restaurant too. There's people out there like that, or if you're a person that don't even want to go, don't even want to be in public. You just want to be low key and want to go to a low key lounge. Know what you want. Know your pleasures. That's why I'm always telling people, you have to search for your pleasures. You have to realize what you like. And by doing that, sometimes you got to please yourself, literally, and also taking yourself out on dates. Like, oh, I like this vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's the saying that's saying, oh, if you don't love yourself, no one will love you. It's just like, no, that's not necessarily true. But just love yourself to love yourself, okay? Love yourself to love yourself. It doesn't, in this, no one else matters. You are who you are. Like, you are forever in your body, and it's, you come first, like, no matter what. Like, but I know of a lot of people, they see value in themselves when someone else see value in themselves. And it's like, I love that, but at the same time, I don't, because it is nice when someone does value you and you value them, and it's a great relationship. But if you don't value yourself, you're not going to put yourself first. It's going to be hard for you to know what you love and what you like. It's going to be hard for you to accept compliments from people because you don't believe that for yourself, right? The word belief. So yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it is tough on these streets. Okay, so the last dating question, this is a good one. How do you find people to date without dating apps?
Okay, so for me, like, I'm an adventurer, but I'm sometimes not much of an adventurer. So I like to go to random places by myself sometimes. However, that's not always the safest, but I like to just, like, after work, I'll just like go to a bar and maybe just get water and just sit there, like literally just sit there and just kind of like figure out, like, okay, like, literally just here. I'm not expecting anything. Like, no one has to come up to me if they don't want to. But if I see someone, I may give them a little look, practice out that like flirting and stuff like that. Remember, always do stuff for you. You know what I'm saying? Always try to teach yourself, like what do you want to learn, honestly. Like, gain new experiences. So sometimes I'll like test out my flirting a little bit. Even if it's to a guy who I'm not attracted to, but I'm just like, you know what, we just gonna test this out real quick. We just gonna test this out, because when I see who I want,
She'll be ready.
I'll be ready. So, just going like random places. It's kind of hard. It's tricky. It's tricky because it's so different now. But for me, like I like to go to when I go to the gym sometimes, but I don't like meeting people in the gym. I don't really like meeting people in the gym, but sometimes if I'm like going to the gym, like just practicing out that flirtatiousness, juiciness, and then sometimes they'll just come. Um, and you just honestly more so your energy. You can go anywhere and meet anyone. I've met someone literally in the middle of the road. Like when I tell you, I was in my car. I was in my car. I was jamming to my music. Like, and when I'm in my car, it's studio time. I am jamming. I look over and there's this person just like jamming with me, and I'm just like, and I'm like, and they just like, hey, I see you, and I'm just like, this is my shit. This is my studio time. And they're like, you know what? You seem cool. Let me get your number. I'm like, it's green though. I'm like, the light is green. and they were cute. So I was just like, damn, Celine, you got to get this person's number though. So I'm just like, so then he literally hopped out the car and gave me his business card. And I was just like, hello, thank you for this. Like, we holding up traffic right now.
I
So
love that.
for me, it's like, it's not, you can meet someone anywhere. It's just the energy that you're walking around with. Like you want to be positive. You want to be inviting. You don't always have to have a smile on your face. You know what I'm saying? But just walk around in your authenticity, and then your tribe will flock to you. You know what I'm saying? Like the people who want you will want you. Just always be yourself. Of course, you can have friends help you out. They can like help set you up with things. Da, da, da. Sometimes that don't always work out. Sometimes they do. If you're more of a business person, maybe you need to go to some networking events. Maybe you need to go to, a business expo. If you want someone in your industry, go to like events that's around there. For me, I don't, it's not that I don't love going to events that much because we're in this time with COVID. And also sometimes I just like to just stay home or like just be about my own business. Like I don't like going out all the time. But the times that I do, I'm in that receptive type of energy. Like I am here to receive people or receive niceness, receive gratitude, compliments. And I'm definitely willing to give that out too. If you're a religious person or spiritual, check out those metaphysical shops. You may find your boo in there. Try to go there weekly. Pick up a crystal. I don't know. Find, you may see a reoccurring person. For me, sometimes I even go to what's it called? But it hasn't been successful because everyone's reading Barnes and Noble.
Oh my God, girl, you hit the nail on the head for me. I saw that. Oh gosh, I think it was like a TikTok or something, and I love it because I definitely, I think 2 years ago when I got out of a serious relationship, that was kind of my promise to myself. Like I need to really get comfortable with being alone. Like going to a place, sitting by myself, and enjoying my own damn company, and sitting there and having, and not just enjoying being there. And like again, no one has to talk to me. I can literally sit there and read a book. I can sit there and have a drink, whatever.
Mhm.
I think that that's important for sure. That it changes the game in your mindset. And I love what you said too. The energy that you give off is the energy that you will receive. But hit the nail on the head with
For
that.
sure. Like just imagine like you wake up, and that's why I always tell people morning routines are really important, or just even evening routines, night routines. Find some positivity in your day or some type of like neutrality, because not everyone is positive. I keep saying that word, but when I say positive, I'm more so like you are not depressive state. You know what I'm saying? Like you are neutral. You're not your energy isn't going to affect everyone's energy because you're in a mood or because something happened, or maybe you woke up and your neck started was hurting and all day you like this. I know y'all can't see me if you hear me, but my neck is tilted and I look sad. you know so sometimes I say, make sure your sleep hygiene is good. Get those 8 hours so that when you wake up, you have a good feeling. You feel joy, and then that will then like vibrate for the rest of the day, and then it's going to vibrate back to you. People are going to be smiling at you more. People are going to be saying hi. You like, damn, hey, like, because I do experiments all the time. Like I love like testing out life. And sometimes like one day I was like, okay, I'm literally gonna get 4 hours of sleep. I'm not gonna eat breakfast. I'm not gonna like I'm gonna make today a bad day, right? I'm a weirdo. But listen, I had to figure this out. I said, I'm gonna make today a bad day. And honestly, doing that it really my day really ended up being bad. I was like, someone awkwardly cut me off in the road. You know what I'm saying? I was on the phone with like this rude person, like, because I make calls. I work at a dance studio, and I make calls sometimes, and I'm just like, and I got a rude person for like the first time in like the whole time I was at the job. I'm just like, this is a really good experiment to do, because it really makes you put life. It makes you put like things into perspective, and it's just like, now let's try to make tomorrow a better day. And of course, tomorrow was a better day because I woke up like a bad bitch.
And there you have it, folks. That said it from the Celine herself.
Right. I won't say try it out, because bad days happen naturally. So you don't even have to, do this test, but just notice when your vibration is low, and notice what happens throughout the day. And that's why I tell you have the authority to change your day, change the way it may pan out.
So now we're talking about sex. So what is the key to great chemistry in the bedroom, if you had to say so?
The key to great chemistry in the bedroom. Let me tap into the mindset really quick. Let me channel the answer. No, I really just have to like, for me, I'm just thinking about who I had a great connection with, and like what was there, like really what was there. And I think, to me, it's really when someone is just sexually compatible with you, and that connection is sometimes it's kind of rare. So what I would say, when y'all can communicate, however y'all can communicate. Not everyone knows how to communicate, but if you can find someone that if you find two people that don't know how to communicate, but they can communicate with each other, perfect match. If you find another two people who, they both are communicators, they say what they have to say, perfect match. But sometimes you have one person who thinks that they're a good communicator, and they do communicate, but however, they usually have a slick tone, but they don't even know they have a slick tone. That's just how they communicate. That may not work well with someone who is also a good communicator, but they need someone who is a little bit more like, tone it down a little bit. Like, I understand you're trying to be real in this moment, but you don't have to like exude in that way. So find someone that you can just communicate with, and you can find that out easily on the first date. When it gets time to the bedroom, the car, the hotel, the whatever, you can express your pleasures and express like, okay, this is how I like it. This is how I, don't like it. This, I don't want to do this, but I want to do that. And they respect that. Sex is going to be lit. Like, sex is going to be lit. You know what I'm saying? But some people, they don't really know how to communicate that. They don't know how to communicate what they like, what they want, which is why I always advocate for sex exploration. And I offer sex coaching, pleasure coaching, whatever you want to call it. And me and the person, like me and my client, we're figuring out new things. Every week we're doing something new. Every day you're figuring out something new about yourself, because you need to know what you like.
I was gonna say that actually brings me to my next question. So you emphasize a lot, obviously, about finding confidence in what works for you. And for someone, I think, right, like it's easier said than done for somebody who's already at that space, that they might already feel comfortable with themselves and what they want and communicating that. But for someone who's struggling with finding what that is for them and what they enjoy, what is advice for them?
I would ask them, are you okay? Or do you accept your authenticity? Do you accept yourself? Because the problem is that confidence lives within your authenticity. Like, it lives there, because that's where it'll show up the most. When you're with someone and you can be your authentic self, you're safe. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel shooken. Shooken. So I would tell them, how comfortable are you with yourself? Are you able to look yourself in the mirror? Are you able to tell yourself affirmations without feeling a little weird? How comfortable are you with yourself? You know what I'm saying? And then when they answer that question, that's your confidence level. That's how you're going to show up. This is not for everyone. Everyone is different. I always, I've met so much different people, like people who are shy, but can look themselves in this mirror and tell themselves everything. And people who you would think is the most confident, they don't even like looking at the mirror at all. These Instagram models, sometimes they don't even like looking in the mirror. They pass it, they run past it. And I've talked to many of these people. So when it comes to confidence, I think people like confidence is something that you have to understand for yourself. how do you feel when you're the most confident? That's your confidence. Don't compare it to someone else's confidence. Just because you see someone, on, video camera flicking their hair back, just because you see me doing that, that doesn't mean I'm like 100% confident. That does not mean that. If you see someone, walking down, the road and they have on heels and, they just look so good, that does not mean they're confident. You know what I'm saying? So find what confidence is to you, because confidence get kind of ruined when people try to compare. Like, oh my God, why can't I just do that? Why can't I just talk dirty in the bedroom? Why can't I just, no. Like, don't do that to yourself. Build up to that. Build who you are. Build that confidence. Don't compare it. You know what I'm saying? Because someone may know how to talk dirty in the bedroom. However, they have a few scars on their body and they only want to have sex in the dark. That's just their situation. Who are you? What is your situation? When you're going into any spot, it don't even have to be sexual. It could be you just walk in, in the grocery store. Damn it. It doesn't matter. It's confidence lives within your authenticity. So you have to love being yourself. Then when it'll be easier when you're like talking to someone and, because you're just showing up as you and you're just like, this is all I can be. This is all I can be. Because if I'm anything more or less, then that's not me. Oh, did I just rhyme?
You know what I'm thinking in my head as you're saying this? I'm like, God damn, I gotta get a notepad, pen, and paper and just write. Because I'm like, Celine is just spitting pure knowledge right now.
It's true. Listen, because sexual confidence is a thing, but owning who you are is so much like freedom within that. And once you can own who you are and be okay with the good and bad of you, like, sometimes I'm very hard on myself, very critical, and it makes me feel like I'm not confident. So then it makes me feel like I'm a fraud out here. Like I'm really teaching people about confidence, but I sometimes dip into these low moments and it's like, no, Celine, that is a part of you. That is what makes you who you are, because those challenges and all that stuff that you go through, you then have to out of it, learn those lessons from it, and then teach someone else in return. So me having that low, confidence at times is to realize that I'm feeling kind of low right now. How can I get myself out of this? I do my tools. What do I need to do? Do I need to say my affirmations? Do I need to take a walk outside? Do I need to go to the beach? Do I need to masturbate? Do I need to maybe call up a friend who really sees like the best in me? Start doing things for yourself like that. You'll start to appreciate you more because you really helped yourself through a low moment. Help yourself through low moments. Don't beat yourself up. So once you start to really value yourself, that sexual confidence, that comes. Because you're going to walk into the bedroom, you're going to walk wherever, and you're going to be like, I value myself too much to let this shit go to shit.
Amen, my friend. Amen. And this kind of brings me to the next question. You really like a person, but something just isn't clicking. So what do you do? Like, you might be sexually attracted to this person, but when you get to the bedroom, just isn't there. So what do you do?
Okay, there's a few scenarios, because it's like, were y'all planning on having any type of sexual relations after, or was it just you just walk in on this date and it just wasn't clicking? Were y'all planning on doing something or not?
Well, this is a viewer question, so I guess we could take it however we want to take it.
Got you. Okay. So if you walk into, a situation and it's just not clicking, right? You're not feeling it. You then have to consult with yourself in your little mind, in your big mind, and figure out what would make this situation work best for me, right? Because you can't just leave, and if leaving makes you feel like, you know what, I stuck to my boundary, I totally left the situation and I wasn't liking it. If that's what makes you feel pretty confident, pretty good, you can go home and probably, watch a good Netflix show. Then you just start to consult with yourself. Okay, we're not clicking, but do they have any connects? Like, do they have any networking connects? Start talking about, start talking about your future, right? Start talking about your goals. And me, I really be like creating a business plan with people. If we're not clicking, I'm creating a business plan because I'm getting something out of this date. I'm getting something out of it. So I'm just like, and if they can't support me with that, then I know for a fact, okay, you really a waste of my time. And then I may actually decide to leave at that moment. I'll be like, you know what? It was such a great day. It was such a great time. I have to go. and sometimes you could tell them, like, you can be straight up and say, I really did enjoy, you taking me out, but I really don't feel the vibes. And I don't really want to waste your time like that. I would just rather, just cut it off from here. I don't mind being your friend. But if that's, I don't mind, whatever you don't mind, whatever you see that connection with that person. Not everyone has to be your friend. Not everyone has to be an associate. That you could just drop that person off and just leave them in 2021. Um, but it just depends on what you want. It depends on what you see. So,
and that brings me to the next one. So how do you get to a point to be able to say what you want in the moment, whether it be during sex, in the dating, in any realm of it? How do you get to a point to be able to be like, I'm really not feeling whatever this is right now. This is really how I feel, and like, let me be comfortable enough to say that.
Okay, I say, think about how you want to feel when you go home. Do you want to feel proud of yourself, right? You want to feel good. You need to do whatever it takes for you to feel good when you take your ass home and in the bed. You want to sleep like a baby, okay? Think about that as you're wondering if you should say this or not. Think about that end result. If I do not put up this boundary right now, am I going to sleep like a baby tonight, or am I going to be kind of disappointed in myself? I choose not to be disappointed in myself. Choose what you want, how you want to feel. And also be patient. Don't rush. You don't have to make a decision right there and then. If you're not feeling the person, right, and they're kind of realizing that, and they're just like, okay, so like, what do you want to do? Just be like, give me a moment, let me figure it out. Like, let me talk with myself a little bit. Because for me, it's hard for me to make decisions like this because I'm so like, I will stay in an uncomfortable situation for a learning opportunity. Mostly because that's my job. I feel like it's like my duty for my people. So, but if I realize that this learning opportunity isn't worth it, these people say that they're so blunt. People say that, oh yeah, I'm open. No one will be like, oh, I'm fake. No, I lied. Some people do kind of realize that they're fake. But most people that I come into contact with, they always telling me, oh, they so real. I can communicate. But nah, you can't. Nah, when I'm a communicator, you know what I'm saying? I do this. Like, I do this. Put that on a shirt, because not everyone can communicate. Not everyone can be real. So once I start to be real, damn, this is realness right here. They don't even know how to act. You just got to be real. We're human. And the funny part is, we always want to protect, not everyone, but me and probably some other people want to protect other people's feelings. However, they may go home and not text you and not, you know what I'm saying? You want to protect their feelings. However, they probably don't really care about you. They probably just bluffing. They probably just, whatever. So it's like, and I just say, don't waste your time with that. Always put yourself first. Yes, it's hard to communicate. Are you into the chakra things? Are you that throat chakra? Some people's is it's restricted, it's closed, it's blocked. Start working on ways to like express yourself more. The easiest way to do it, like very easy, non-harmful, whatever, is singing. When you're in that car, that studio time, start activating those, and then tell yourself, like, I am doing this intentionally to unlock that chakra, right? Just keep doing things to like intentionally unlock like certain things about you that is kind of closed off. And then because that intention is then going to manifest into itself. It don't matter how you do it. You could wake up and say, today I'm going to have a very expressive day, and if you continue with that intention, then yes, you can. If you actually do it, intention and action, woo.
I love that. Okay, we are in rapid fire round right now, so you are going to answer. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You're just going to say heck yes, hell no. Okay, and we're just going to go through it like that. So the first one is help in the bedroom, toys. How do we feel? Hell yes, heck no.
100% yes.
100% yes. Love it. Okay, faking it in the bedroom.
Always a no, but it's also situational.
Okay. I can feel that. Okay, no sex until the third date. True or false in your book?
False. Do whatever you want. It's going to be however it is. You can fuck someone on the first day and be married to them for years. Or you can wait the 90 days, wait the 3 dates. Ain't shit is going to come out with it. Do what you want to do in the moment. Let your intuition speak.
Love that. Okay, quantity of dates is always better. Yes or no?
Okay, for this one, multiple dates.
If you're not physically attracted at the get-go, don't bother. Yes or no?
Ooh, depends on the person, but depends on your intention on why you are even, dating that person. Is it for sexual? Is it for dating? Like, what do you want? But I would say physical attraction is definitely important, but it can be built over time. So I'm gonna say, leave them at the door. I'm
Okay,
sorry. I don't
okay,
even
okay.
want to say that. I don't even want to say that. But honestly, like, no, no, really, honestly, to be real, like, and physical attraction, they don't have to look like your type. They don't even have to be your type. It can just be an attraction. It doesn't have to be like, a lot of people, when they think of like physical attraction, they think like you're shallow. And it's just like, no, if I see something that attracts me to them, my everything about me is gonna want them. It's gonna just be, and if it's vice versa, and we have a connection, it's just. Ugh. But if I'm not attracted to the person, I just take it as that's God just don't want that for me. Like,
You know what's funny is that I love that you said that because I always say when people ask, everyone always asks like, "What's your type? Like, do you have a type?" Blah, blah, blah. And I always say I don't think I necessarily have like a physical type. I think I used to think that because I would go for the same kind of guy.
mm,
Now I think I am attracted to a confidence. And it's almost like that. Like I can't express it, but like they all look different. But like if they all have that same like quiet confidence, and it doesn't
mm,
matter what they look like that to me
right.
matters more. And like that's what I find attractive. So that's very fun that you say that. Okay, cool. Next question. Porn.
Yes,
Yes, no.
I would say yes. There's so much more I want to say. Because it depends on the type of porn. It depends on how you view porn too. A lot of people, they will view porn and start to compare themselves. Oh, why can't I do it like that? Why is their dick bigger? Why, stuff like that. And it's just like, if you're gonna watch porn and all that's running through your head, I say no. But if you just watch porn and and you don't feel like it's affecting your life, and it's not doing anything negative to your life, then I say you can watch porn. They do have like more ethical porn where people are getting paid, no one's being assaulted, well, for the most part. Sometimes, in every space there's always something kind of weird that goes on. But with ethical porn, that the people are actually enjoying themselves, and they have that. So
Okay, now we're gonna end on love and relationships, the kicker. Okay, so we live
ooh,
in a culture, of course, where love and sex is romanticized, right? Like we see TikToks of all these lovey-dovey couples traveling the world, and we just live in a culture where like everyone just wants to find love and be in a relationship. How do we navigate that? Like in your day to day, what do you think is the best way to navigate this culture that we live in now that it's very romanticized? And I think too, you kind of brought it up earlier, maybe more in America than other cultures, right? Like in America, we romanticize a lot love and sex.
mhm. Whew, it's I mean, it's a hard one, because you do see these couples and you see that they're living like this beautiful, beautiful life relationship. Like they're going out on trips, they are, buying each other stuff. Every video, the person's like kissing another person and they're just like obsessed with them. And it's like you look at that and then you be like, damn, I kind of want that. But then some people don't want all that. However, I say it's just the way you look at things. Figure out the way you look at things. Are you looking at it from like a judgmental, jealous way, or are you looking at it like from a way where it's just like, you know what, this is something that I want. I want that. However, also keep in mind, use your consciousness and use your like your real brain, whatever wherever that is, and remember everything that is gold. Wait, what is the saying? Not everything that glitter is gold, or something like that, right? Those people sometimes are not living that life. They're trying to get a check. Okay. They're simply just trying to get a check. They're simply just doing what the world thinks that, they need to do, basically. Like they're just putting on this front. Some people is really real and that love is real. And sometimes it's hard to see the difference, but just know in your mind that although that is what, you want, don't get envious over it. Look at these reality shows. Just simply look at these reality shows, all these like housewives and love and hip hop. And I don't watch them, honestly. I don't find it. I would only watch it for research purposes, but not necessarily for pleasure all the time. Only it depends on the time. If I want to see like some drama, some days it's like, okay, let's do it. But it saddens me more because they have money, they have support, they have people around them. However, they're still like not living their life. They're still probably in a domestic violence relationship. their partner probably verbally abused them. It's just, or their partner's probably cheating on them and they don't want them to cheat on them. It's just like, you can't look at something and be really envious because you really don't know what's going on. But you can look at things as like a little bit of inspiration. Take it as that, I would say. Take it as inspiration, but always build your dream life in your own mind. Don't look at something and then try to build it. Try to dream it first. Try to imagine it for yourself. Try to write it down. These are all your natural thoughts. These are all your, stuff like that. The visual stimulation is good, but you don't want to take in someone else's dream. And then when you get your version of it, you don't accept it and you don't love it, right? So say if you watch something on, you see someone like they going on the honeymoon, or they're going out on vacation, and you see, oh my God, he picked her up in the middle of the ocean. Like, your situation may be he can't even pick you up. Maybe he weak. You end up falling into the ocean, maybe getting a scar on your leg. You're just like, wow, this is not how I planned this out to be. But that's because you need to map out your own thing. Maybe after that, y'all laugh. Maybe the intention is to go there. No matter what happens, babe, we're gonna just enjoy. We're gonna laugh, right? Create your own intentions, create your own dreams, and I would say that's how you can navigate that.
I loved everything that you just said. Wow. That that was good, girl. That was good. Okay. To you, what makes a strong relationship? If you had to kind of like condense it into like a couple sentences, what makes a strong relationship?
I would say passion. And a strong relationship doesn't necessarily mean a good one, right? Because let's get into that. Because there's some people who do have toxic bonds. So their strong relationship is formed on this toxicity. So just an example, I love to give examples. You're talking to someone, but they're jealous. If they see you out and about, if they see you post a picture, or if you tell them like, oh, I'm hanging out with friends, they start, oh, what friends? Da 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 da. Y'all not even in a relationship probably. It don't even matter. They start doing all that, but you kind of like it because you realize, oh my God, this person just wants me for me. They want me all to themselves, right? You start to get into that mindset of like, this person kind of crazy, but maybe they're showing you more attention than someone else, right? Then you're realizing that making them more jealous makes them want you more. So then you start to play in that toxic like balance. Some people can handle that. Some people know how to, and honestly, in the kink community, it's called like, there's a form of that's like called like a brat in a way. And basically like the brat is like saying like, I don't want to do this, or like they're just acting like a brat. And then the person, their partner could be like more of like a daddy figure, right? Or something like that. And that's the relationship dynamic. However, it can turn on, or some kink relationships, it's never turned off. They're always in that brat, dynamic. That can be healing for them. Maybe someone who's a brat, they feel like my boundaries and I'm telling them what I want, and I'm not afraid to say what I want. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not afraid to be rude, because when I growing up, I was always had to be the good girl, and I always had to make everyone feel good. So in your sexual relationship, you don't have to do that, and then the person loves that, right? That's more of a healthy relationship, right? But also be really traumatizing. And that like relationship that you have, it could be strong, but that doesn't mean it's good. So to answer that, I said passion, because as long as you all are passionate about each other, and there's something that's attracting you to that person, and you don't know why. Usually sometimes you don't know why. I think that's really what it is. We all love a little bit of mystery. We all love a little bit of novelty. So when someone just catches your eye, and all you want to do is just kind of just I don't even know what that is, but that's all you want to do. It's like that passion is what really drives that. So and oftentimes people connect with people a lot when they look into the other person's eyes. I notice whenever I'm really looking into someone's eyes, it's like there's always some form of connection there. And it's like the eyes are the way to the soul. So and it's hard for some people to look into someone's eyes because they have anxiety, nervousness, this, that. So sometimes you can have a strong relationship with someone, but without that lack of with the lack of eye contact, it sometimes will make you won't feel it as much. But that's just my observation from me and a few other people. But you can tell me, do you think eye contact
Hundred
like form
percent,
a connection? Okay.
100%. And I had I'm not gonna say, I mean, a recent-ish date, not my like most recent, but a recent-ish date. Um, I remember like maybe after like the third date with this guy, he kind of said
Hmm.
something to that effect, like I complimenting me, like I love how when I talk to you, you're looking at me when I speak because a lot of other girls maybe don't. And I thought that was so interesting because I feel like I had never really been in a predicament where I necessarily was with a guy who never made eye contact. Like I feel like every guy I've always dated, again, it's that quiet confidence, has always been comfortable with making eye contact, has always been comfortable with looking me in the eye. So it's interesting to hear a guy's perspective. Like I was like, really? Like I didn't think I was doing anything that crazy, but it just shows people want to be validated when they're speaking and people want to feel like they're being heard when they're talking.
100%. And I've went on a few dates with girls, guys, and I noticed a lot of the girls that I did go on dates with, they weren't looking at me in my eye. So I just started looking, elsewhere too. So then it just feels like I'm talking to everyone else but the person.
No,
So
it's a tricky thing for sure to navigate. When you talk to clients of yours, what seems to be the biggest consensus as far as struggles that they might have with finding love, or like the biggest pothole that across the board everyone kind of seems to face?
oh, honestly, it's so simple. And I always tell them, I tell my clients this all the time, and I know they're probably like, girl, can you stop saying this? They're paying me to give them permission to do whatever they want to do. Just giving them permission, literally, like telling them, no, that's fine. Go ahead and do that. They're like, what? I can go on a date and have sex on the second night. I can go on a date and have them wait 3 months. Yeah. Like, yes. That's really, and I start to then explain to them like, you can do whatever you want. You can, and whatever feels right to you, whatever you want to do in that moment. Even if it's a decision that you're not sure about, like just trust that every decision that you make is the right decision, right? So really it's just giving them permission to just do whatever they want to do, as long as it aligns with their values, which is why we have to get their values in check. And long as they have a plan for if that don't go right. Like if something doesn't go right, how are you now going to mother yourself? How are you now going to not such a bad experience because it was a bad experience? Like how do you get yourself through those emotions? So we talk a lot about emotions. I bring them through scenarios. I touched on their deepest trauma sometimes if they allow me to, or if we want to get into it in that session. And I heal them. I help them heal themselves. Really, I don't heal them. I help them heal themselves. I give them permission to just say whatever they want, do whatever they want. My clients, they just often just feel very like alive when they leave my sessions. um they're always saying, I didn't know that. They're always saying they didn't know. And I'm like, are you sure you didn't know? It's always within. It's always within. You just have to like pay with the outcome of whatever happens.
I'm gonna tell you, so there's this friend of mine who years ago, and I every time I see him, we don't talk very often, but I always tell him, you said this one thing to me, and you may not remember ever saying it to me, but it really obviously it stuck with me all these years. And I really
Right.
firmly like I think it was like one of those moments where it just changes your perspective on everything. And it was during a
Mhm.
time he said it to me when everyone around me was in a relationship and everyone around me was, in love and blah blah blah. And it wasn't like that for me. Like I kind of just was like dating and talking to multiple guys, but like nothing ever really stuck. And
Mhm.
he told me, and he was like, when you least expect it, it will happen. And I was like, you know what? And I don't know what it was, but when he said that, I kind of was like, you know what? You're so right. And I completely forgot about it. And I really did not prioritize like finding someone or dating or whatever. Like I just did me. And like that was it. And then sure enough, in
Mhm.
time came, you find someone. So tell me your thoughts on that.
Mhm.
Do you believe like when you least expect it, it will
Mhm.
happen? Or do you think it's more you got to put in the work?
So it depends. So I'm pretty spiritual, so I talk a lot about energy, vibration, stuff like that. Like, just the natural laws of the world. So honestly, for me, it depends on the person and what do they need in order to attract. So for you, by you searching, that probably caused a little bit of resistance, right? So you felt like it was a bit of a chore. Your vibration is not open, it's not receptive to meeting the person of your dreams, right? Because there's just some blockages there. Like, although you're putting in that action, you don't have to put in action to really do anything. People, they go to the freaking gas station, they buy a lotto, they win millions of dollars. What the hell is that? You don't have to do anything really. But some people now, Their problem probably is they're not putting in enough work to attract the person. Maybe their blockage is them just being, maybe they're closed off with love, right? And they're not trying at all because they're done with it. I'm done with it. Like they're so closed off, they're not open to it. Maybe in their case, let that guard down a little bit, open up their heart center a little bit, let love in a little bit, start searching, right? Start doing that search, right? And it just varies. You have to know. You have to know yourself. Self-awareness is so big. And it does come with age, self-awareness. But honestly, there's some youngins that I've dealt with that are so self-aware, more than a 35-year-old, you know? So it's not nothing about age. Age does help because, you know, age comes with wisdom. But honestly, I feel like I'm a little 80-year-old in this little baddie body right now because like I be saying things, I'm like, dang, how did I know that? You know, it goes both ways. If you notice putting in work helps you to put in that work. If you notice sitting on the sidelines, being more receptive, allowing people to come to you, allowing, you know, flowing with that energy, then do that. But you got to try both to figure out which one actually works.
100%, 100%. For those who
Yes.
feel in a rut, and then you've kind of touched upon this, you know, that they are either unlovable or maybe unworthy of love. And I think, again, as you go through, all of us, right? When we go through different seasons of our life, or maybe we're not meeting as many people, or we're not putting ourselves out there as much as maybe we did in one other prior chapter of our life, you start to feel those feelings. So for someone who might feel that they are either unlovable or unworthy of love, what do you have to say to them?
I would say to understand that that is a phase right now. Life sometimes happens in waves. Sometimes you feel really, really confident and worthy, and sometimes you don't. When you feel that down feeling and you feel that like unworthiness and you realize that it's like becoming like, okay, like this I feel unworthy for like months versus just like a 2 days, then you really want to start doing some inner work. It's not gonna just pop up. You're just not all of a sudden gonna, especially if you went like a long time feeling down like that. Now that energy is really stuck. Like now you have to really work out of that. Show yourself that you're willing to put in that work, because your opinion on yourself matters. If you don't care about how you feel about yourself, then you're gonna feel unworthy. You know what I'm saying? Or if you overly care of how you feel about yourself and you're not doing, you're not doing everything that you want to do in life, then that's also, a part of the spectrum. So whenever you feel unworthy, you have to start using the tools. You can wake up one day and be like, yeah, I'm confident, yeah, I feel better, but that's probably not going to last that long. You have to have tools. So sometimes, okay, so every morning, I'm going to just show you right here. We have some journals. Hold on, I have all my stuff.
Oh,
Okay, what else?
I love.
Okay, so every morning, so this is just some affirmation cards. They're just like really cute, really cheap. I got them from like Five Below. And I pull them every morning. And I said, every morning I'm going to show myself that I want to make myself feel good today. And I'm going to pull it every morning. Yeah. So today, this is the one from today. Okay, I'll read it though, because I don't think, can you read it?
I love it. Yeah,
Okay.
read it, you read it.
You read it.
Today I am powerful. Today my potential to succeed and conquer challenges is limitless. I love that.
And you just pull that every morning. And I realized that throughout my day, when I'm feeling, sometimes when my energy kind of buckles a little bit, I just think about the card. I always say, whenever I'm feeling, I just, whenever I'm feeling like, I just say, I'm gonna think about the card that I pulled today and see what the message was. And usually it's in alignment of whatever is causing my energy to like, and then that also strengthens my intuition. That strengthens my spirituality. It just strengthens like all of that, because it's like you're seeing the synchronicities. You're seeing like, wow, today I didn't feel that powerful, but the card that I pulled today said I am powerful. So just continue to do that. On Mondays, I try to do this Monday mirror ritual. So basically, I just look myself in the mirror and we just talking for like a good 2-3 minutes, whatever. We just talking. I just talk to myself in my mirror, eye contact, all of that good stuff. Sometimes I end up crying because some days it's hard to look at yourself when you're not proud of yourself. But when you push yourself through that works. Morning routines is really important. This is a part of your morning routine. Some people, it works for them. I realize some clients, it really works when it's in the bathroom because they got to brush their teeth. So pull that card, brush your teeth, and let's call it a day. Okay, this is kind of random. So, okay, I went through a lot with my surgery, y'all. I had back surgery, and a wheelchair for about 4 months. Then I graduated to a walker for like 3 months, then a cane for like 2 months. And now I'm finally able to walk on my own, not confident, but I'm able to. So I went to, what's it called? What's that place called? Nordstrom. You know about that? And I saw this. So right now, for people who's not watching the video, it's a Barbie that's in a wheelchair in a rainbow outfit. I literally have a picture of me in a rainbow outfit, just like this. I'm gonna show you me, and I literally was in my wheelchair. Like, I can't wait to show you. And I said, and this was $20, and I was with my parents, and I was just like, I don't care what you give me for Christmas, just give me this. I swear, I was just like, I don't care what you give me for Christmas, just give me this, right? And that's what I got, because
I love it.
I look at this and I really just get emotional, because I'm just like, I remember when I thought I was gonna be stuck in this stage, and I remember feeling so strong and saying to myself, like, even if I am stuck in this wheelchair, and I used the word stuck before. Right now, I wouldn't use the word stuck, because there's people in wheelchairs living their best lives, and I just be like, whoa. But I remember feeling like, if I am stuck in this situation, I'm still gonna be a baddie. I'm still gonna do it. And that took so much strength. I'm literally crying, because it's hard for me to believe that I'm gonna be able to live my best life like this. But I was crying because I was just like, damn, Celine, look at all this strength that you're using. No one cannot come for you after this. After all that you've been through, no one cannot say anything to piss you off, because guess what? You're gonna dismiss them. They don't deserve to be in your energy. You done built yourself up so high. You done realize the divine goddess that you are, because you held so much faith and strength, even when you didn't have any faith and strength, right? So have stuff like this as reminders. I don't care what it is. If it's a bowling ball, and when you were a kid, you used to bowl with your daddy, and your dad gave you the confidence. I don't care what it is. Find something, create a little space on your desk. Some people call it an altar. There's self-love altars. There's all that good stuff. Ancestor altar. That's more like in the spiritual realm, but you can just have like a self-love altar, or like a inspiration area on your desk where you look at it and you just get inspired. So that's what I would say.
I love that. Celine, I cannot tell you, I think like this might be one of my top episodes of all time. Like, this was so much fun. I cannot thank you enough for answering our questions, for getting into it, for being real. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you guys want to find any more information about Celine and her work, we will put her social links down below. And as always, you can find a new episode of The Spotlight every Thursday. Celine, thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.